So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just gave us a double dose of good news in training camp. And let's talk wide receiver here. Now, I'm going to talk about in today's video wide receiver that his name you know very well, and that's Roman Wilson. I think we finally saw a pop from him in training camp, something that you guys as fans I'm sure have been looking for a really long time. I'm going to get into that just a little bit. But also, the player that I really want to talk about is a little more intriguing. His name is Rock Taylor. He's an undrafted rookie receiver out of Memphis, and he's kind of coming into camp, was really an underrated name, but he was definitely someone that's been on the radar for people like you that really like to dig into these lower roster players. But until today, this last training session, he wasn't really worth mentioning because he wasn't really popping, really unnoticed, not really doing much. But once the pads came on, changed rather quickly. So we're kind of looking at a couple big plays that he made with the pads on today. He found the middle of the field in zone coverage to make a nice 15-yard catch. Then later, he took off down the sideline for a Skylar Thompson pass. He hit him with just an absolutely beautiful back shoulder throw that Taylor, he pulled in and really got both feet in bounds really nicely. I mean, there's still a long way to go with this player, but man, he just really balled out in this practice session, and suddenly he's starting to look like the explosive playmaker that he was in Memphis. Just a really good pass catching ability in the crunch, in when it's go time towards the end of the game. He might very well skyrocket up this depth chart. So his emergence, it's starting to continue at this most recent training camp session. And really, he and fellow rookie standout Will Howard, they linked up for a pair of impressive catches. And that kind of caps a second straight day of solid reps for Taylor. And Howard, you guys know he's your 6th round pick in this last NFL draft. And he had a few things to say about his fellow rookie teammate. Check it out. He's a heck of a player, man. He's been making some big plays, and when the ball goes his way, it seems like good things are happening. So soon after April's draft, the Steelers, they kind of quietly signed the former Memphis Tiger receiver Rock Taylor. He came in as an undrafted free agent, and he's had a pretty productive career at Memphis, but it really came to a head these last couple of years. He totaled over 2,000 yards in his final 2 seasons, but didn't really receive much national recognition. Now, he came to the Pittsburgh Steelers with a pretty big bonus. It showed that the Steelers are making him a big priority coming into camp. And yeah, let's keep this guy in mind, see if he continues to pop. He stood out for really making contested catches once again and for making timely receptions that repeatedly saved drives and finished offensive drives as well for Memphis during his college years. So we can only hope that that sort of explosive playmaking, that ability to catch the ball in crunch time, continues for your Pittsburgh Steelers. But that's really the big question for this rookie, right? Can he continue this good play? And I think it's kind of cool as you're watching training camp practices, as you're watching what the team releases, as you're watching beat reporters, to see if a player like this can really rise up the depth chart. Because as Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you've noticed that this happens almost every year, right? Last year it was Beanie Bishop. Just kind of came out of nowhere. I really like that player for you guys. And this year I thought it might be Castro at safety. I did a couple stories on him. But you know what? Maybe it's Rock Taylor. And with this wide receiver room, I think that would be absolutely fantastic for you guys. So if anything's going to happen for him to earn a roster spot, he has to continue balling out. But actually, if you look at his profile, what the Steelers need on offense and really what he's really prolific, can't say that word, what he's really good at, how's that? He has really good physicality as a run blocker. And that's something that Arthur Smith absolutely loves. This offense is going to be run the ball. So especially if you're going to make the roster as an undrafted free agent like Rock Taylor, you got to be good on special teams. That's a big check mark for him. And you also got to be able to block your butt off. And that's a big check mark for Rock Taylor. That is definitely a big strength of his. So let's kind of get to the other player, the player that you know much well. I'm going to get back possibly to Rock Taylor if I have time. But we're looking at some things that we've seen so far in training camp. The offense has kind of showed some new wrinkles. There's something that's being called the 0-4 personnel grouping that's completely different. I haven't ever seen that from an Arthur Smith offense. I'm not even completely sure exactly what it entails. I just know that it's something new here. And really what people want to see out of camp is not if DK Metcalf is going to be good. He's going to be good no matter what. Not to see if Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. Obviously, he's going to be better than what you guys have seen in previous years. Let's talk about Roman Wilson. And so far, fans haven't really seen much of anything thus far in camp. I mean, injuries ruined his rookie season last year. In training camp, it's been quiet so far. People have looked, I'm talking about the media, have really been writing a lot of negative stories. He really hasn't done anything to stand out so far. And I don't think he's really locked into this number 3 receiver spot, especially if Rock Taylor continues to climb up the depth chart. And that kind of puts him pretty low on the target priority list as well in practices, because at best, he's looking like a number 3 receiver now. Man, I really still believe in him being the starting slot receiver. I still think he's going to be super valuable in that role. But he did something today. He finally showed Steelers fans something that they hadn't seen from him in a very long time. And it's absolutely fantastic. He finally made a big play, a splash play that we are looking for. And I'm actually going to go to it here. This is actually really interesting. There's a picture of it off of Twitter. But he just pulled out an absolutely spectacular catch over cornerback Joey Porter Jr. It resulted in a 35-yard touchdown. I mean, granted, it was a one-on-one rep between the two. A significant win on the outside for last year's third-round pick. This is actually a really nice thing. And then according to reports as well, he ran a really nice double move deep route, made that leaping catch over Porter, and that's really how that play developed there. Mason Rudolph was throwing the ball. He hung the ball in the air a little longer than desired. He was able to adjust. Porter, he ended up being out of position a little bit to defend the pass, but Wilson, he really fought through the contact there. He high-pointed the ball, and also he scored. So that's an absolutely fantastic thing. And this is even more encouraging because his profile was really good hands, good after the catch prowess. Yak, right? He was really highly touted as far as that, but he wasn't really a player that was known for winning 50-50 balls, and especially in a run-first offense like Michigan, even though they got the national championship and he was the lead receiver, he wasn't really called on a lot to make contested catches. They just ran the ball all day, but now he's finally made a play that's not only significant in that it's a splash play, but it's also significant in a way that he's making the catch in a way that's not typically thought of as his strength. And perhaps that is a really good signal that he is starting to develop. So, I mean, Rock Taylor, I really like what we've seen from him and kind of the few plays that he made with the pads on. He found the middle of the field in zone coverage to make a nice 15-yard catch once again. And then he made a really nice back shoulder catch that he pulled in, got both feet in bounds really nicely. This is just really encouraging as you guys are looking to see what is further down the depth chart at wide receiver. And I just want to provide you guys some good news. I'm going to continue to be here as your source for Pittsburgh Steelers camp news right now. I'm going to continue to do this on the daily, and just think of me as your outsider's view, a non-biased, non-fan view of your Pittsburgh Steelers. And if it's fruitful for you, or if it's just entertaining, if you even just like hearing me fumble over my words like I did today, totally cool. Hit the subscribe button. It's a huge blessing, and I'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. See ya.